So what's something as a CEO that's never far from your mind? Insert drum roll. Brrr, your budget. And marketing, we all know, can definitely eat up a lot of your budget and produce limited results if you're not being very strategic. So on today's show, we're going to talk about spending your marketing dollars wisely.
Welcome to the Higher Purpose Marketing Strategy Podcast. If you're frustrated by marketing and want to stand out from your competition, this is the show for you. Every week, we're discussing how to build a plan that attracts your best customers and aligns with your values. I'm your host, Ashley Conway, follower of Jesus, CEO of Be Weird Marketing, marketing coach, and copywriter. I promise to defeat the ick, yuck, and struggle bus feelings you may have about marketing with a few good stories and proven advice. So let's have fun and get to work.
Let's start with a story. Let me preface this by saying I am definitely not a gardener. I have somewhere between a brown and black thumb, like even succulents I struggle with. Fortunately, I live in Utah, so I don't need to have great skills. But anyway, I get the process. So let's imagine a vegetable garden, which I've tried to grow multiple times. Anyways, you have this vegetable garden. Let's say you go out to water it and you just start spreading the water everywhere. Tons of water everything as much as you can. Maybe some of your vegetable plants are going to like that, but it's likely that you're going to drown some of them. It's just they're going to get water clogged and they're not going to thrive. So let's think about marketing the same way. You can't go in to your marketing efforts and just throw money everywhere. I know I'm using like my Jerry Seinfeld voice. Just throw money at everything equally. It's not going to work. If you really want your garden to flourish, then you're going to do some research. You're going to know which of my vegetables need more water at what times of day, how's the sun shining on them, where are they located kind of thing, what region am I in. You're going to be very strategic about the combination of plants you have and a lot of other factors that go into it. Marketing's the same way. In order to really spend your dollars wisely and to get the most yield out of those marketing dollars, then you also need to look at a lot of different factors in order to get the best bang for your buck, which is what we all want. Here are some questions to ask yourself when deciding how do I spend my marketing budget. Now, on the front end, there is no, and I say this across the board with so many things, there is no one size fits all. You can Google what are the standard percentages that I should spend on different areas of my marketing, and they would probably give you a range. But those are not going to work. That is just internet talk. It depends on a lot of different factors that are custom to your business. So let's start with these questions, and you'll see what I mean. Where, number one, is our target audience? So there are, you all know this, so many different ways that you can market. You can go old school and do brochures and direct mail letters and things like that. You can go completely digital and focus on paid ads, and we're going to do things on social media, a lot of different things on that. And right, we're, heavy on sales pages and different things. There's so many different things, and that's not even talking about like the different social media channels. Am I right? So what you don't want to do is go into a marketing budget meeting and say, let's spend a little bit everywhere, all of these things, and see what sticks. Throwing spaghetti against the wall is never a good marketing strategy. What you're going to look at first is, where is our target audience? If you say, our target audience is everywhere because we serve everyone, it's not going to be effective for you. You need to narrow it down some, which we've talked about multiple times before. Narrow down your target audience and then figure out what social platforms are they on? What media are they consuming? Do they read magazines? Are they exclusively online? Are they the type that's going to pay attention to direct mail? And spoiler alert, a lot of millennials like direct mail because they like something tactile that they're getting in their mailbox that they can touch and feel. Anyways, first, where is your target audience? That will help narrow down how to spend your dollars, because there's no point, for example, in putting tons of dollars into Facebook if your audience is not there anymore. There's no point in putting tons of dollars into TikTok because TikTok has issues right now. So that's the first question. Where is our target audience? And obviously, in order to be able to answer that, you need to have some good data on your target audience. There's plenty of ways that you can do that. That's kind of a separate conversation, but it's worth digging into a specific niche down target audience and finding out what are their behaviors, where are they at. 2, this is equally important. What are our business and marketing goals for the year? Because everywhere you put your money obviously needs to support that. And you're going to think that when it's marketing goals, right? If your goal is to increase leads, that's where you're going to put your money. But what are your business goals for the year? Are your business goals to promote a certain product? Like you have a variety of products, but you really want to grow this segment of the business, then that is going to greatly influence how you spend your marketing dollars. Because now you're not just thinking about where is our target audience, you're thinking about where is our target audience looking for information about this particular product or service that we're wanting to promote. So all of these things need to align, which is what the purpose, if you listen to episode 1 about creating a simple marketing plan, that's what the purpose of that plan is, that roadmap. It's to align all of these things together. Number 3, where are we losing customers? If you did listen to that episode 1, if not, I recommend you go back and have a listen because we kind of talked about the roadmap, a customer journey that a customer takes, that they start by awareness, just hearing that you exist. And that's the point that they move to, hopefully that's the goal, to consideration, to they know about you and they have chosen to engage with you in some way. Maybe they're a social media follower, maybe they're on your email list, they've expressed an interest. So then you get to consideration and it's all about getting to know each other. It's about building that know, like, and trust factor. Then you move into actually they're ready to make a purchase. What is that purchase process like? Then retaining the customer through their post-sale experience. And then last is loyalty, which is like lifelong fans, ambassadors for your brand, that type of thing. So if those are the different stages, what is the stage where you are losing your customers? Is it before they even become customers, not enough people are aware of your business? Is it once they're aware of you, just getting them ready to purchase something and that consideration, getting to know them, kind of priming them, so to speak? That's where they're not converting. So take a look at the whole process and find where is the hole? Where are we losing people? And this syncs up great with the question number 4. Do we have any data on our current marketing? If you have data, you will know exactly where you're losing people, how many of them you're losing, and maybe even down to like the point that you're losing them. But also in terms of data, what you're currently doing, where is the highest ROI? And even if you're not tracking physical data, you may know, like anecdotally, how are we getting the most leads and the most sales? Is it from a particular type of, marketing tactic that we're doing? I mean, you definitely want the hard data, but where are generally the most leads and the most sales are coming from? Because those things you're going to want to keep pouring money into. Number 5, what actually makes us money? And this is the way that I'm considering it. Your money makers should get more of your budget. What are money makers? They are your sales pages where people actually push, buy now, join now, schedule a call, something like that. That is a money maker. An email that promotes a product or service or a sale and it directs people to a checkout. That is a money maker. A paid ad that's doing the same thing. It's directing people to a checkout page, to a sales page, something like that. Those are money makers. Never take money away from something that is actually making you dollars, physically making you dollars. What are things that aren't money makers? And this may hurt some of you because these may be places where you're putting a lot of money. Social media, important, but it's not actually making you money unless you're selling a product. Like if you have, but again, this is kind of ads. If you have a social media ad, that's different. That's a paid ad. But if you're just posting in your content feed or, in your feed, you're creating stories or reels or what have you, those are not physically each post is not making you money. Another place, your SEO, not technically making you money. It's getting you eyeballs, but it's not technically generating dollars. Any kind of content marketing that you're doing, blogging, even podcasting, which I love or I wouldn't be on here. All of those things need a portion of your budget, but they don't need the lion's share of your budget. The great majority of your budget should lead to sales every time. Those are obviously your highest ROI pieces. So these were just a few questions, 5 questions to ask yourself. And here are a couple of ancillary things to keep in mind. So what are we forgetting? Ask yourself that when you're setting the budget. Make sure that you do have some kind of testing category. We know marketing is ever changing, very innovative, new platforms, new strategies, that type of thing. So you always want to allow yourself a small testing budget to just try something that's innovative and creative and see how your audience responds. Also, keep in mind when you're setting your budget, anything seasonal or a campaign. Let me tell you what I mean. So if you have more of a seasonal business, let's say you do more during the summer or during the holidays, you're going to want to allot a greater portion of your budget for those months, correct? Or if you run campaigns, let's say that you run a Black Friday promotion every year, you need to allot enough budget in, let's say, October, November in order to run that promotion. So keep that in mind when you're working on your budget. Also, stay flexible. If you haven't honed this marketing budget process down to, a science, stay flexible. Don't get into, or just be careful when getting into long-term contracts, like with a vendor, a contractor of some sort. So anything that you're like, yes, a 12-month contract, you're going to be stuck in that contract even if your strategy changes or you want to allocate money somewhere else, you're stuck in that contract. I would just say try to set flexible contracts with people. Unless you've worked with them many, many years, you're going to need them for a full 12-month period. Also, stay flexible with your plans. Know that as you're doing some of these things, these tactics, some things might not work that you just didn't expect, or something that you're testing may take off and you may need to put money toward that. Allow yourself not to be hemmed in to what you plan for a quarter, for 6 months, a year, whatever it is. Just know that part of being successful is being flexible and being able to pivot. Friends reference. Okay, the next thing to consider is how can you reallocate the dollars in your budget? Because I know that you're thinking, these are all great things. I have so many places I would like to put my marketing dollars that are very strategic, but that means I'm going to have to reduce in some areas, right? There are a few ways you can think about reducing or reallocating your dollars. Number one are the underperforming tactics. Maybe you have been putting money into something, and it could be anything. It could be PR. It could be a particular type of paid ad. It could be a myriad of things. And it's just you've tried it for a few months. You have tweaked it. You've done as much as you can. You really feel like, and maybe the data hopefully shows, that in this season, it's just not working. Take the money from that particular tactic and put it towards something else, either a test or something that is working. Put more toward it. Number 2 way to reallocate dollars is automation. Sometimes we can use automation, good systems, and processes to reduce something that we're doing manually. If we're not spending as much time on something manually, then it's less expensive, correct? So automation has been key in my business for just helping me remember things, helping things to be on a schedule where I can batch things or do it in a certain time frame that saves me a significant amount of time, but I still produce the same amount of content. And if that's something you're interested in, please let me know. I have a wonderful systems and process expert who would be able to help you set up some of these things at a very reasonable price. The third thing you can do about reallocating your dollars is AI. And I know a lot of marketers are not in favor of AI. I am, as long as you stay in the driver's seat, as long as you are the master and you're telling it what to give you and you're heavily editing it and making sure it's in your brand voice and that it really is in language that your target audience speaks, I'm all for AI. I would say definitely the things that are your money makers, your sales pages, your emails that are promoting something, your ads, don't just let AI do it all. I think on the things that are the very most important, that are your money makers, it's probably going to be better to have a professional copywriter either draft those from scratch or at least take a look at them. Those are the 3 ways that I think you can reallocate some dollars: automation, AI, and underperforming tactics. And here's the last question, one that very much resonates with me is our spending plan in line with our values and mission? I would say there's a lot of companies that forget to ask this. But let me give you an example of how this would work. Let's say one of your values, part of your mission is service is very important to you, to serve your market, your customers well. Then you need to have a line item in your budget for making those things possible. If you want a fund to just wow your customers, you want to, give authority to your frontline people, that if they think of a way that they can wow a customer that they're seeing, that they have budget and approval up to a certain amount to do that. And that means you need to have the budget for that, either in your operations budget, in your marketing budget, if there's a way that you want to tie it in like that. But it's always important to say, is the way we have outlined that we want to spend our money allowing us to fulfill our mission and to incorporate our values? And again, if that's something that you want to talk out with somebody, I'm happy to do that. So let's talk about homework for this episode. These questions are all based on a particular scenario where you don't have a lot of hard data about your marketing. Like you don't have cost per lead. You don't have customer acquisition cost. Like how much does it actually take to get somebody to make a purchase compared to how much it cost you to make all the things, do all the marketing that made that possible. That's the scenario we have in mind. You don't have that hard data yet. Use these questions to make a short-term budget. That may be quarterly. You may need more time than that. Whatever it is, use these to make a short-term budget while you gather data. The best budgets are going to be based on concrete costs. So those are the things that you want to start tracking: the cost per lead, the customer acquisition, and several others. So now let's move on to my favorite segment, or at least one of them, office hours. We have a question this week from Mark. How do I decide which marketing channels to prioritize when my budget is limited, but I want to maximize results? So Mark, thanks for sending in your question. Obviously, you want to refer to all the points we talked about in the show. But I'm also going to say, you say your budget's limited. Everyone has a limited budget. Even these, huge companies we think of like Amazon or Walmart, or people are really out there heavily promoting their things. Even they have a limited budget. So I'm going to ask you, why do you have a limited budget? I'm going to assume when you say you have a limited budget that you're saying it is small. It is, monetarily, it is a small budget. Why is that? Why do you have a small marketing budget? Does that mean that you have a business problem that your marketing can help solve? What is the main problem right now that you're trying to solve for in your business? We kind of talked about this in this point about where are you losing people. And I'd recommend you listen to episode 1, definitely, about this customer journey. That will help you identify, where is the problem? Is it, getting awareness, just people to find out about you? Is it getting people ready once they know about you to make a purchase? Is it when they actually go to make a purchase, they're dropping off? Like they're going to a sales page and they're just not purchasing. Where is it exactly? Is it the post-sale experience that they're disappointed in and you're getting some feedback? What is the exact problem we're solving for? And that's always a great question before you start any type of marketing strategy or deciding anything. What's the problem that we're actually trying to solve for? So once you've determined where you're losing people, you will know that this is the area that needs more of your time, your attention, and your dollars. That doesn't mean, let's say that you just need more people to learn about you. You need more brand awareness. That doesn't mean that you stop spending in other areas. That means that you put a greater percentage of your marketing budget on just getting your name out, getting brand awareness, getting people talking about you, getting noticed. So I hope that at least points you in the right direction, but I'm happy to follow up with you, Mark, separately if you want to talk a little bit more specifically about your business. So some of this, you need a third party who can be objective. Sometimes we're so in the weeds about our own company that it's hard to step out and see things from a bigger picture. So sometimes you need a third party who's objective, but also somebody is an expert. Obviously, you're an expert in what you do, or you wouldn't be successful. And I would humbly say that I'm an expert in what I do. I've been doing this 20 years. So I can be that expert to look at your plan, to answer some of these questions about let's look at whatever data we have, hard, soft, and figure out what's the best way to allocate our dollars so that we get the greatest ROI. Reviewing your budget, your plan for your marketing is perfect for one of my Power Hour coaching sessions. 60-minute call with me. We get we start out very broad about what you're planning and then get very granular about here's some next steps. So you can schedule that by going to bit.ly/Power Hour Coaching. Thanks to you all so much for listening today. I trust that it has provided you a lot of value about how to set up your marketing budget.
Thanks for listening to today's show. For all things podcast, including transcripts, extra resources, and a place to submit questions for the show, visit higherpurposemarketingstrategy.com. I'd also love for you to do me 2 quick favors. 1, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and 2, share this episode with your colleagues. And that's a wrap. Meet you back here next week.